me explain something. No office. That's my office right over there. No office. You go over there and knock over pens and pencils. You go to the bedroom and you have to look out the window. I can also put you in the bathroom. Leave the water running. You got it? Because you want more food. Yeah, he goes over there and knocks over stuff. Right over there. That's my office area right here. He'll knock over a pen or pencil or something. Yeah, stop clawing. And then he thinks he's going to get another bite to eat because I just fed him a little thing of Fancy Feast. No. You go over there, the office one more time, bedroom, you'll watch out the window. Or you go to the bathroom, you can drink from the faucet. You got it? Sorry. I have to be this way. No office for you. No, you're a cat. You don't need to use pens or papers or memo pads or tape. I'll show you the things I have in my office. That's pretty much my office. He'll get up there and want to knock over my pens and papers. All kinds of funness. He doesn't do much but probably pee on this. All my stuff smells like cat pee. That's how you can identify me on this one. He doesn't pee on that one much, but he peed on my laptop thing. I'll show it to you in a minute. You will go in the back one more time. Sometimes when Linda was here, just to let him get his way, I'd go and get him another can of cat food, and he'd get another can. That's how he ended up that fat. It's pretty fat. This smells like cat pee right here. The outside of it smells like cat pee because he peed on it when I used to keep it right on top of there. He peed all over it. Well, all I can do is ask. I don't know if it'll do any good to ask you. When I met Linda, I was 3 years ago, about a year since I'd seen my children and my wife who left me because I'm not a perfect person. And when I met Linda, she was drinking 15 beers a day. Almost, I don't know, it's a case like 20 beers. I don't even know how much a case is. I don't drink alcohol at all. In the Bible, it says it's a sin to be drunk. It's a blessing to have wine, but it's a sin. It's a curse to be drunk. And she was drinking 15 beers a day is what she confessed to me. She did cut down over time, but she would buy like a case of beer and she would drink it over a period of 2 days. If a case of beer is 20, then that's only 10 beers a day. So maybe she's going in the right direction. And I talked to her, she sounded sober. So, and then sometimes she doesn't. But knowing an alcoholic to that degree it's horrible because they're drunk to the point of almost like a child, like a real child. And they act that way at times too. But the word grow up is I think an evil word in my profession for the things that I do. And what I endure. Because I was accused of not growing up either when I was recording songs on SoundCloud, and I had 3 children because we didn't make enough money. And I'm still recording songs today. But I don't really care a whole lot about the songs as much as I do about a person's well-being. A person's life, which is being destroyed by Bud Ice crystals, or what they call Bud Ice, which has a higher alcoholic content. And if you are an alcoholic, one of the processes of learning to quit down the line on the 12-step program is to call people that you've wronged because of your alcoholism and to ask for forgiveness. And that's part of the recovery process. I think the first part of it is probably knowing that there is a God that's far more powerful than all of this, whether you vlog or you're on YouTube or you don't vlog and you don't ask for help. But that's just one side of the troubles of life, alcoholism, and it'll be there. Since Corona has come about, there's been more alcoholics, and we're having a problem with it in our country. No one cares about the show. 5 people, maybe 12 people, sometimes maybe 20, sometimes 100, and there's been 172,000 people that have cared about a fake movie that I made, a B film called Backpage, with some people from Texas Wesleyan and UNT, probably so they could maybe hold that movie against me, even though it was fake, of me playing a male hustler. So I can still ask for help, but I do not drink alcohol at all. I don't smoke cigarettes, but I endure it because the person that's supposed to be one flesh with me does. When you're married to someone, you're one flesh with that other person. And when I was with Angel, she endured what's called spina bifida and neurocardiogenic syncope. It's where you pass out, or you go into a waking seizure. And I had to endure that as my flesh as well. I had to endure another type of sickness that was incurable. Spina bifida, they don't have a cure for it today. Neurocardiogenic syncope, I don't think they have a cure. It's basically a waking seizure where you just go into staring. You wouldn't be able to deal with it in any fashion. Imagine the scene in Pink Floyd The Wall where the guy's staring at the television and you can't get him out of that trance. That's neurocardiogenic syncope. And that was part of my flesh because Angel was part of my flesh. We were one flesh. It says it in the Bible. When you were married, you were one flesh. The sickness will not end in death, but unto the glory of the Lord. It says it in John. So we will not conquer sickness in this life, not in our time, because it's for the glory of the Lord. But we will endure. And if it's your spouse that's sick, you have to endure it. You have to accept that as part of your flesh. But you can ask for it to get better. You can ask for healing. I can ask for prayer. I don't have to ask for a lot of money. I can ask you to help by praying for us. And if you don't think prayer works, doctors do it in the hospitals today. They'll pray for you. Sometimes they'll ask if they can pray with you to help you heal. A doctor can pray with you. It's legal. It's part of the First Amendment. The doctor can do that. Not all of them do. But in my past, I've had doctors pray with me, to pray over me and to pray with me to help me get better. I'm not perfect by far. I'm not projecting this on any type of sickness like alcoholism. But if you're drinking 15 beers a day, you're killing yourself and you're killing the people around you. You're hurting other people. That goes for my cousins that have a problem with it. That goes for the people out there that I don't know that have a problem with it. And if you go out there and do something stupid and because of alcoholism, then you're going to obviously blame the alcoholism, but ultimately you chose to continue to stay sick. Now, some may believe that alcoholism is impreventable, like it's part of the DNA makeup, and I believe that some of that might be true, because I was told about it when I was younger, that we had an uncle in the Great Depression he would come home and he would just be a miserable drunk. And from that story, I think most of my family has tried to be sober as much as possible because of the horror of that story, that this man would come home and be drunk. And that's wrong. God cannot work in your life without sobriety. If you're drinking, God's not going to work in your life. If you're drunk, he can't get there. If you're on drugs, God cannot reach in and manipulate you. He chooses not to go through that cloud. That cloud is what you've prevented God from reaching you. The cloud is what you've created to prevent God from reaching you. Now, maybe it just has to be that way for some. It is talked about in the Bible, but it does say it is a sin to be drunk. And I believe that if you're drunk or if you're intoxicated, that God cannot get through that cloud to reach to you. The cloud prevents that connection between you and God. If I'm wrong, that if a man walked before a church today and was completely miserable drunk and began preaching, would he not be asked to be removed from that church? Would he not be asked by the church to go away and come back sober? If a man got up in front of the church and was high or was on drugs, would he not be told to go away until he could come back and be sober? Now, let's not talk about the church. If a man went out in public and was drunk in public, in a public place, would he be not removed from that public place and then say that he could come back if he's sober? Yes, these things are true. Are they right? Well, that's debatable, but it happens. You can be locked up for being publicly intoxicated, even if you have the disease of alcoholism. Now, you cannot be locked up for having an epileptic seizure in public. You cannot be locked up for having Tourette's syndrome. But you can be locked up for being publicly intoxicated if you read over the limit in the public, which has happened to Linda Gray. And I had to go pick her up a while back. It's way back in the vlog when we were in Carrollton years ago. It's still a wake-up sign to an alcoholic. If you want God to work in your life, you have to be sober. You have to shoot for sobriety. Now, does alcoholism kill you? It has been proven that alcoholism can rob you of your organs, where you can no longer function. There's a movie called Leaving Las Vegas. Nicolas Cage did it to show people the harm. It's evident in society that we know that it can harm you and other people. It is a blessing to drink wine. It is a gift, but it's a curse to be drunk. All right, Kitty, I see you're wearing my shirt. This is actually my shirt, so please don't wear it. Thank you. All right, I just found an injured cat. It was like white, dirty gray, kind of. I can't necessarily tell you the location, but I did call animal control. So they seemed interested, or they seemed serious about it, because they take these things serious. A hurt animal can be dangerous, but it also can cause problems in different situations. Like if it's laying there, someone could swerve in the middle of the road, but it was a neighborhood road. So these things I find sometimes, especially when I was doing Uber, I would report all kinds of hurt animals, and I have to confess, one time I was driving down some lost road and a cat ran right under the car and boom, straight up. I don't know if it tumbled out. I don't know what happened, but this was years ago. And I was driving. I mean, it ran right under my car, like underneath the car, hitting the top part of the car. I felt bad, but you can't always find those cats. Sometimes they run off and die weeks later. Sometimes it takes time. I reported the cat. I was out hiking, so I hike, and this was a suburban road. And I reported, I didn't report what the cat looked like. Crap. Let me call him back. I got to call him back to tell him the description of the cat. All right, so they're going to let the authorities know. Now, I told her it was pepper, white, gray. So it's kind of a not full white cat with long, shaggy hair. The cut on the cat looked like it was coming in the side of the neck. So it wasn't moving, but it could still pick its head up. Cats are, they can be saved in situations like that. I had a cat named Snow. It was a kitten cat. He got under the recliner, not that recliner. It was a blue recliner, old one, that the front would snap open, like the front legs would snap open right here on the bottom of the recliner. So the leg, or this resting part right here, I don't know, ottoman or something, I don't know what you call it, but it would snap open. And it had a lever on the side and a mechanism inside of it. And it was a kitten, and the cat was named Snow. It was under there, and I leaned back, and it got its neck and started squirming. It was a kitten, a little kitten cat. Well, what we did was we took it to a vet. We took it to a nearby vet and gave it to the nurse. She was able to resuscitate the kitten because they're malleable. If they're older, maybe not. This cat was older. That was out there that I saw. And it lifted its head up and looked at me and was just very calm and was still laying there. So I called animal control of my area and reported it twice. Once the description of the cat, then the area and the address. I was so nervous when I took the photo that I only got the partial address on the photo, but I remember the address. And it has a curve where the road is curved. It's right next to a truck. So I hope they get there in time. It's not safe always to manhandle a cat. You can do it, but when they're in that much pain, it can be difficult. God bless. Yeah, I know, Kitty. You're going for the toes. Yep. You're going for the toes. That's what I thought. Caught red-handed. Or white-pawed.